Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing the new makeup releases tag, where we'll talk about new makeup releases throughout the year, and we have some questions that go with it. The creator of this tag is Samantha March. She's also the one that started the Will I Buy It series, which is the inspiration behind every new makeup release video that's out on YouTube today. But this kind of just looks at the year overall, asks some fun questions. So if you're interested, let's get into it. Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I hope that you're enjoying Vlogmas. It's been kind of busy over here, but I'm having a lot of fun. I did start prepping pretty early, which is what's helped me, but very excited to be bringing another video today. If you're new here, my name's Yadi and I like makeup. Indie makeup, luxury makeup, drugstore makeup. We like to talk about it all. We do some get readies with me. We talk about new makeup releases. So if that's your thing, if you don't have anybody else in your life to talk about all things makeup with, definitely consider subscribing because we have a lot of fun here. If you're not new, welcome back. How are you liking Vlogmas? I hope you're enjoying all the content that I'm putting up. I'm just excited to end the year strong. I had kind of a hectic year with personal health struggles, things like that. And so I'm just really happy that we can finish off the year this way. Don't forget to like the video, share it with a friend that you think might like my content, and let's get into it. Okay, so today's video is really fun. I'm doing it as a collab with one of my YouTube besties turned real life besties, Beauty and the Frizz. I'm sure if you watch my channel or you've been subscribed for a while, I'm sure you're subscribed to hers. I was thinking back, and her and I actually started our channel like within a month or two apart from each other. I think she started first, and I don't even know how we found each other, but once we did, that was it. We were literally friends from day one, fast friends, but we've built a really nice friendship off of YouTube, and I'm just grateful for her. Really happy that I'm doing this collab with her because we both also like to talk about new makeup releases on our channel. So if you're here from Kara's channel, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope that you will subscribe and stick around. And if you're subscribed to me but haven't heard of Beauty and the Frizz, please go and check her out after this video. I'll link her channel and the video down below and tell her I said hello. Okay, so this makeup look I filmed, it's up on my channel now, so I'll link it down below along with the Vlogmas playlist if you're interested. The link to my socials is also down below, so let's go ahead and start talking makeup. So the video, the way that it works, we're going to be talking about new makeup releases throughout the year, but there will be 9 specific questions. If you'd like, play along with me in the comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, or just like thoughts on my commentary, because I have some thoughts. It's a little different, and I had to go back and look at my actual makeup purchases because I didn't film a lot at the beginning of the year, you guys. We were going through a family struggle with health, and so I wasn't as active at the beginning of the year on YouTube. However, I was still buying makeup every single month, looking at all the new releases. So I had to go back and see, like, what did I get? What were my thoughts? So that I could put together like a really nice spread out list of what I thought throughout the year. If you're a creator, the questions are in the description box below. Feel free to recreate. I think this is really fun. I always like to hear different creators or people's perspectives on new makeup or what their thoughts were on launches, things like that. So I'll leave them in the description box. Question number 1, what makeup release lived up to the hype the most this year? I have 3. Okay, my first pick for this question would be the ABH Nouveau palette. I was not filming at the time that this palette came out. I bought it anyways. I felt like I was really drawn to the colors. I was a little concerned at first because I thought maybe it's a little too pastel-y. Maybe it's not going to look good, or it's, you know, I really didn't have a lot of experience with ABH shadows. And what I can tell you is it absolutely lived up to the hype. This is probably, and for a few months, was like one of my favorite palettes. I wore it as much as I could, every time that I could. It made one of the best palettes for fall this year. I just thought it was so beautifully done. Now, because I didn't have a lot of experience with ABH shadows, what I saw in reviews from other creators is that this was one of the best formulas that ABH had done, or that this was like their little comeback. And for me, I have one other palette, the Jackie Aina palette, which is just delicious. It's so good. And I do have a big Norvina palette that I hardly ever touch, but this one was so good in my eyes. I felt like it lived up to the hype. I felt like everybody was saying they were so excited about the comeback, And I mean, if this is the comeback, I'm excited. I didn't buy any of like the rose, what is it called? Like the rose, there was a rose palette and then there was another like metals palette. I didn't buy those because I had a lot of other stuff going on. But for this, I absolutely loved it. And I do think that I want to go back and get at least one of those ABH palettes when it's on sale again. So yeah, I think this was one of the ones that lived up to the hype in my mind. The other one is not a makeup product, but it's a tool. And so one that I thought lived up to the hype and I purchased for the first time this year is the IT Cosmetics Love is the Foundation brush. This brush is, you know, it can come off initially as like a little gimmicky because it's in the shape of a heart. If you can see that. I know it's dirty. I just used it. It's somewhat of a heart, I guess. This is a brush that's exclusive to Ulta, IT Cosmetics in partnership with Ulta, and they release it every year during the fall, September, October-ish time. Every year I say I'm going to grab it, and I always forget to grab it, and this year I did, and you guys, I really love it. I actually used it today on this look and it's so pretty. It's like so soft. When you apply your foundation with it, it just like buffs it into the skin really, really well. This was one of the foundation brushes that I noticed like I didn't feel the need to go in and pat everything in with a sponge afterwards. It really helped the product sink into my skin. So I really, really love this foundation brush. And then it also is like really cute. I mean, every year it's got a different design, but this year it's got holographic like little glitter particles. So I'm a little confused though, because they just released another one, which I'm gonna go get. And it's got like a different design. Maybe it's like a lunar year or a flower design or something. So I'm gonna go get it just because I know that I love this design and these bristles and stuff. But yeah, this is a product that's hyped every year, but I had never tried it. So I love this one. The last one, oh my gosh. Can you feel the love radiating from me? The last product that I think totally lived up to the hype, and it's a little newer, but oh my God, I'm obsessed. Freaking obsessed is the Gucci blushes, okay? This is so beautiful, you guys. I saw it and I was like, yeah, they look pretty. I'm trying to be smart about my makeup purchases, blah, 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 blah. I didn't buy it until the Sephora sale, and I almost didn't buy it because it was between this one and the RMS blush, which, haha, I bought them both anyway. But, oh my God, the formula, the satin formula, the way that it pays off and it's buildable. One thing that really stands out to me because I'm in like a humid climate and I have oily skin is the lasting power of these blushes, you guys. When you dust this onto your cheekbones, it's going to look like straight up satin. It's like your skin and this product never looks powdery, never looks patchy. I mean, it is just satin. And I don't even know why I was like pussyfooting about it. Like, I love my Gucci bronzer. That's exactly how I feel when I use that bronzer. So I don't know why I thought that, you know, this wasn't going to be as good a product as it is. But it's definitely one of those that lived up to the hype big time. Because I went so overboard with blushes during the Sephora sale, I wasn't in a rush to get other shades, but I'm definitely going to keep buying these until I have all 6. Okay, honey? And when they add them, I'll buy some more because this is so, so good. Question number 2, what indie release lived up to the hype the most? I again have 2. I'm sorry. I just want to like share because they're so good. And if you have a chance to get them, get them. On one of them, you may not, which is really sad. But anyway, my first pick for the indie release that lived up to the hype times 10 is going to be the Adept Cosmetics collab with Heather Austin. You guys, did I film with this palette? I'm sure I did. Oh, yeah, I absolutely filmed with this palette. And it was just, I don't know. I feel like she created it for me. Like, I love Heather. I've been watching her for a long time, but this color story almost also surprised me a little bit. Like, I don't know why. I feel like this area of the palette is, you know, what I would consider Heather to be. So this area really threw me off loop, but it in the most amazing way. I mean, this is such a beautiful palette. I think she said in her intro video that she had like asked her friends on YouTube that are also creators to get their feedback and wanted to know, like, she wanted to curate the most perfect color story. And I don't know who she's talking to, but I'm just saying this is the most beautiful, beautiful color story. I feel, again, like it was made kind of for me. It is the perfect selection of shades. You've got so many different options for different looks, and the shimmers, of course, Adept Cosmetics quality shimmers. This was one of the releases that Indie released this year that lived up to the hype. I think it's sold out 3 different times. It's available, I believe, and I'm gonna link it. I do have a code with Adept Cosmetics. I think it's Yadi 10, but I'll link that down below as well. You guys, if you can get your hands on this palette, oh my gosh. And if you love indie, shimmer, whatever, the mattes are out of control. The shimmers are beautiful. The color stories, the shifts in the shimmers, lived up to the hype tenfold. The next indie release that lived up to the hype, and I'm sure you may have an idea if you've been watching my channel recently, but it's going to be the Odin's Eye Christmas release, the holiday release. First, I guess I'm just like on cloud 9 with them because first, I've never tried Odin's Eye. This is the first time I'm ever trying them, but I try a lot of eyeshadow, a lot of indie eyeshadow, mainstream eyeshadow, drugstore sometimes, and it was like, I don't know. I mean, I said this in my Lisa Eldridge video, and it wasn't to offend the brand or anybody that loves Lisa Eldridge, because I do too. But, you know, that was like, oh, okay, cool. I love it. It's nice. It's muted, whatever. It wasn't the same reaction that I had with these. With these, it was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I've never tried this brand. My friends, Kara, had told me, you got to get on it. Odin's Eye, oh my God. But like, look at the color story. And then I do like that they broke it up, you know, so that you had a more grungy, frosty blue color story here. And then you had like a warm tone palette here, you know? And so if you didn't like both color stories, you could get one over the other and still get amazing quality, still get like a Christmas holiday release. And I just can't get enough. I cannot get enough. I also have individual videos for these palettes, so I'll link them down below as well. But you guys, I'm so sad. I think they sold out instantly. I mean, I think I bought it right at the tail end when the first release sold out. And I was so happy that I just went for it. And then it sold out again because they had a pre-order open. And I wish they would open it up one more time. It's like not even Christmas yet. You know, I'm filming this at the beginning of December, but they could have opened it one more time unless it was like supply chain issues. But man, you guys, I am so hyped for Odin's Eye. I'm looking for them next year. I'm buying the next release if the color story speaks to me, because the quality is literally one of the best that I've ever tried in a shadow. I'm not even going to say like luxury indie drugstore, in a shadow, one of the best. Okay, geez, like calm down, Yadi. But that's how excited I am about Odin's Eye. Question number 3, I'm a little nervous about, but question number 3, which releases did not live up to the hype? Okay, so the first 2 you're gonna know because I have videos on them. But the first one that I want to talk about is the Beautiful Skin Foundation from Charlotte Tilbury. This released like literally like January 1st or January 3rd this year. And I ran to get it because I love Charlotte Tilbury and I just love everything she does, usually. Her foundations are good too. I have, I think, 3 of them. Do I have 3 of them? Yeah, I think so. 2 or 3. And I thought, oh my God, the way that she's explaining it, it's going to be glorious, beautiful. Our skin's a little dry because it's January. Like, we're going to love this. Our skin's going to eat it up. It's going to look beautiful. What I can tell you is like, no. It was like meh. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't as bad as the next one that I'm going to talk about, but it was just like, I guess, like, whatever. I love the match that I got with it. And that's about it. It was so bad. It just kind of sat on top of my skin. It didn't really look beautiful. You could just go like this. I do have an oily T-zone during the winter. I'm oily during the summer. So I didn't even try this during the summer, but during the winter even, you could just do one of these numbers and the foundation would just slide off. I don't like it. And I don't even think that most people liked it. Even people with dry skin. There are a couple out there that I've seen liked it, but for the most part, people were like, yeah, like nothing noteworthy. I don't think that it is as good as all of her other products because I love her line. Not cool. Ugh. And I hate to be like so negative about it, but like if you guys know me, like complexion is my thing. That is literally what I live for. I love eyeshadow too. I love everything, but complexion is like the most important thing to me. And that's why I spend so much time like with my skincare, prepping the base and all of that. And like I take complexion very seriously. So yeah, not a fan. The next one, I was so grotesquely offended by that I actually returned it. And that's kind of a big deal because I don't return anything. I hate returning makeup. I keep a lot of it for like future reference, whatever. Absolutely not. That thing went straight back to Sephora. I could not stand to even look at it. And I'm talking about the Lancome Ultra Glow Foundation. It was so beyond horrible, you guys. Like beyond horrible. I have oily skin, so most people are like, duh, Yadi. Like, why'd you even try it? Why'd you buy it? Well, I bought it to review, but at the same time, I had issues with the Lancome Tinty Doll. It was extremely drying and mattifying for me. Even being here in Texas in a more humid climate where my skin turned glowy and oily, I still couldn't get along with the Tinty Doll. So then I thought, well, this one's Ultra Glow. It's a natural finish. I think it'll be fine. Oh my God, you guys. If you are so inclined or really want to see a review with oily skin, go back and watch my video. Like I was like a frying pan, like a greasy mess. I just could not believe that my face could produce that much oil. And I was like, no. And I've seen people with oily skin. This is what confuses me and why you should watch a lot of different reviews because everybody's skin reacts to it differently. People with oily skin that actually liked it. A couple that I can think of, I think that Risa Does Makeup liked it. I also think that Stephanie Marie liked it, which both of them have oily skin. Stephanie Marie lives in a humid climate like I do, even more humid, and she liked it. So I don't know, you guys. It just wasn't it for me. And the next release that didn't live up to the hype, and I guess we're gonna stick with complexion this time again. I tell you, I take it pretty seriously, is actually the Danessa Myricks Blur Balm. Ugh, don't hit me. Don't hit me. I know that people go so hard for this. People love this. The other day, I love Danessa Myricks, but the other day she had posted like a reel on Instagram where she was getting ready for the day. And she does one of these numbers where she like drips oil on her face and she's prepping her face. And then she starts doing her base and all of that. And she was using her finger and, you know, she used like 2 or 3 different of these balms, like to create contouring and as a primer, whatever. And I had never seen anybody use it with their finger. So I was like, hey, I commented, I said, can somebody on her team tell me what skin type she is? Like maybe I have tried so many different ways to make this work because I want to, and people say wonderful things about it. But she responded, or it sounded like it was her responding, and she said, hey, love, I'm very oily skin. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, this doesn't mattify me throughout the day like people say that it does. It makes me oilier. If I wear it on its own with like a mattifying primer underneath for like a natural no makeup day, it's okay. But as a primer under foundation, as a foundation, even though I like lighter complexion products, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm sorry. I know. I'm not trying to offend anybody. Like, I'm sad that I have to say this. I couldn't get it to work at all. Question number 4, what was the biggest curveball in beauty this year? I'll start with something that was a curveball for me. And that was part of the reason that I started filming new makeup release videos is because I don't really get into like trends and things that are coming up until it's almost too late. So what I noticed is that I was making a lot of makeup purchases kind of on the fly, not thinking them through because I didn't even know they were coming. And so one of those is the Lisa Eldridge eyeshadows. I had no idea that she was going into eyeshadows. It makes sense. I mean, she's been building out the brand, but for me, this was a curveball. And so I have a video on this one. This is the Muse palette. It's good. It's okay. It's not like you know, earth-shatteringly good, but it's good. And it was a curveball. I didn't know it was coming. And then a week later, I was making this large purchase. So anyway, this was a curveball for me. Unpopular opinion, maybe. And I'm just saying it so, you know, I think these videos are good when you listen to different opinions from different creators, is maybe watch a few more reviews before you decide to invest. This is at a luxury price point at $68 for this little quad, which is, you can see my hand, it's a little, not quad, it's a palette. It's a 6-pan palette. So think about it a little bit more. I don't know. I think they were overly hyped, to be honest, in my opinion. But another curveball is two of my favorite foundations of all time have actually been discontinued. And I'm just like heartbroken because I'm not the one that will buy a bunch of backups of one product. Maybe I will, like in skincare, but not in makeup, because I have so much and I don't go through it as quickly as somebody that had maybe 1 or 2 foundations or 1 or 2 eyeshadow palettes. But the Dior Air Flash was discontinued, and I'm like I don't understand. Why? What are brides supposed to do moving forward, right? It's called the bridal foundation because it stays put. It's waterproof, humidity resistant. I mean, it is the most gorgeous foundation. That was discontinued, and so was the Chanel Velvet Foundation, which is another favorite for me with oily skin. It just works so beautiful. And I thought, once I found out about the Dior Air Flash, it was too late. Like, I can't find it anywhere. And I do have one backup after the one that I'm using, but I'm like, what does like a summer look like without the Dior Air Flash? And so those were a couple curveballs. Again, this is mostly me not being, you know, all up in the beauty business like that. And so I've been a little more proactive to try to like figure it out, and, you know, what's coming up and what are people talking about. Even when you hear rumors of products that may be discontinued, pay attention to those in case it's one of your favorite products. Pat McGrath had a sale recently, and somebody was saying that she had bought a bunch of like concealers and foundations, and the powder, the under eye powder, which is one of my holy grails. And I'm like, why? She's like, well, I heard, I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard that they're phasing them out. I'm like, what? That's literally one of my favorite concealers, and it's my holy grail under eye powder. Like, what would I do if I didn't have those products, you know? And so anyway, those are curveballs that I saw, just kind of from, yes, I'm a creator, but it's more of a consumer standpoint because I wasn't fully into the new makeup stuff or the makeup news like I am now. So those were a couple curveballs for me. Okay, the next one is also going to be unpopular opinions. You know, that's what it is. It's just opinions, guys. Don't get mad at me. But question number 5, what was the biggest letdown or snooze fest of this year? And okay, so I'll start with the one that I don't care as much about. But the first one that I thought was the Retro Glam palette. I saw it and I was like, what? No. Like, and I think that the reason I felt that way is because even with like the mini retro, which was one of the first palettes I bought after seeing Mel Thompson use it actually, it was a little pasty on me, a little like chalky. It just didn't work for me. It wasn't my favorite. I think I've owned it for a couple years and I've only used it once or twice. Like, that's how little I like it. I mean, it's just not my favorite. And then when they released the Retro Glam this year, just a month ago, I think, that really does mimic the mini that we have, I just was like, nah. I mean, not even. And I've seen some looks that creators have done with my complexion, and it looks pretty. But it was just like one of those things like, okay, whatever. And I'm always excited about Natasha Denona. I have most of her palettes, and especially in the midi size, that's my favorite. And so I always am looking and I'm ready to buy whatever. And I was like, yeah, not interested. Like, not even a little bit. So that was one. The next one, don't hit me. Don't be throwing shit at me, you know? But like the next one was the Pat McGrath holiday collection. Now, one thing that I can say is I like that she releases it in phases. You know, it doesn't hit people's wallet all at once. Because, you know, knowing us, we would buy the whole thing all at once, right? But I had been wanting color. I wanted something other than pink and neutrals, and I wanted it. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh. Like, I lost my mind for like 5 seconds, and then I was like, but like, let's think about it. And like, do I have to have it? And so a little bit of that is like, I have had to scale back not only because I want to enjoy my collection a little bit more, but also like our family's finances were hit really hard this year when my husband got sick. And so I have to think through purchases a lot more and make sure it's something I'm really going to use or I really want, not just because I'm collecting, because I really want to stay away from that collector mentality. That being said, that's the stuff that gets me in trouble because I have both of the other mega motherships, you know, that she released for holiday. So I have those and I'm like, I need the third one, you know? And I would say I'm not a collector, but when it comes to Pat McGrath mothership palettes, I am. I have to have them all. I just ordered mothership 10. But with this one, it was like those and then like more blush palettes, which to be honest, when the blushes launched the first time, I bought most of them anyway. And then it was like another highlighter that looks just like the others. Those little 6-pans, was it 6 or 5-pan eyeshadow palettes? Those were cute, but again, nothing like crazy that you had to run out and get. So yeah, that was kind of a... Like after the first 5 seconds of euphoria, when I saw color coming from Pat McGrath, I just kind of was like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know that I'm excited about it. So it was kind of a snooze fest for me. And I, to this date, have not purchased any of the holiday collection for this year. So anyway, don't get mad at me. I love Pat McGrath. I mean, honestly, if you look at my channel, I love Pat McGrath. It was just that collection, for some reason, did not hook me. Question number 6, what was the unsung hero of 2022? As it pertains to makeup or skincare, of course, new releases. And I have 2. And I'm looking, here we go. And the first one that I want to talk about is the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. Oh my God, you guys. This is the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful primer I think that I've ever tried in my life. It is so incredible. And like when you see words on a product and then it actually does it, like that's what's so exciting. So this is the Vanish Airbrush Primer. And literally that's the word that I use when I tell people about it. It makes your skin look airbrushed, and it's not like a mattifying primer, but it does say that it will help control the oils. It feels really nice and hydrating when you put it on. It doesn't dry down to matte like, for instance, this one dries down to matte. You can tell it's mattifying. It doesn't do that. It's very comfortable. It feels hydrating, but then smooth, and then it just kind of blurs everything. Now, it's not as pore filling or pore blurring as I would like it to be since I have oily skin and large pores, but it just airbrushes your skin in a way that it doesn't even matter. It looks that beautiful. And I've heard a couple people talk about this primer, and the people that talk about it absolutely love it. They rave about it like I do, but I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. And I just feel like if you would just try it a little bit, you would love it. It's so beautiful. I'm 42, so I have the large pores with the oily skin. I have some fine lines, and then I have my skin that's starting to lose a little bit of elasticity, and it's just like, oh, let me just airbrush you. That's what that does. The next one, and you'll hear about this as well coming up soon on my channel, but the next unsung hero of 2022 is going to be the #1 Day Chanel foundation. Oh my goodness, you guys. I have a review on my channel. It is so beautiful. Another reason why I want to call it an unsung hero of 2022 is because this was around the time that Chanel launched at Ulta. And some people kind of felt a way about it, and I was like, wait, why do you care where people buy their makeup, right? And they thought that it diluted like the luxury feel to the brand, but in my opinion, people that shop at Ulta are also looking for those luxury products. So I think it was very smart of them to do that. And so for both those reasons, but this is such a beautiful foundation on its own. You are going to look so gorgeous, so pretty. I know it's just foundation, but you're going to look so pretty when you wear this foundation. But in addition to that, you guys, like it's down to here and like it's halfway. I don't know if you can see, like there's a tiny little bit. Yeah, there's a little spot there. That's because it, is standing upright. And so I can see kind of where the line is. But in addition to it being the most beautiful foundation, this is my most used foundation this year. Now, I have oily skin type, so that kind of doesn't make sense because it is a little more of a hydrating foundation. It's not so mattifying. But what I found with this is not only is it beautiful on its own during the colder months when your skin dries out a little bit, but I don't know what magic is in this bottle. It is the most beautiful mixing foundation. And when I tell you mixing foundation, like I can mix this with the most high-end foundation and make it look better. A good example of that is my Tom Ford makeup, like Shade and Illuminate make. That is pretty, I guess, but when you mix this in, it's better. I can mix it with a drugstore foundation, which is kind of a, like an oxymoron, but I can mix it with anything. And this is going to take that foundation to the next level. It is so beautiful. People were excited about it for like 2 seconds in January when it launched, but then I haven't really heard people talk about it too much. Like, no, you guys, get back on this hype bus. It is so, so good. Question number 7, what was the best holiday release this year? And I think I'm gonna, first of all, give it to Hourglass. This was so pretty. Just the way that they did the collection this year. Not only did we have 3 shade versions or 3 color story options that would work with a wider range of skin tones, but on the Hourglass website, they even gave you the option to customize the palette inside, the color story inside, as well as the outside packaging. So I instantly was attracted to the tiger packaging, but I also loved the tiger color story. So I bought it as is. This is how I bought it. But if you loved the tiger packaging and you wanted like the butterfly color story, you were lighter complected, or you wanted, the elephant, you could customize the color story inside and get whatever you wanted on the outside. Now, in addition to that, and I don't have a ton of these holiday palettes, by the way, I got the one in 2020, I skipped 2021, and then now I have this one. But the one that I have for 2020 is like this really it's like a heavier plastic, which is nice. It's fine, but this one's tin. It's like tin, and then it's got the magnetic closure here. So I don't know. I just thought it was so well done. I am really excited to have this. I kind of want the elephant, but I'm not going to do it because how much blush? I have one face, But yeah, this was such an excellent, excellent holiday release. The other 2, I'm not going to spend too much time on. Duh. Not only is it like Christmas themed, but they just did such a great job. The art on the palette is beautiful. The color story, the quality, the shimmers, down to like how they commit to the theme. I mean, we even got little ornaments for each palette. It was just such a beautiful holiday collection. I don't think they would watch my video, but like Odin's just one more time, because one of the things that I said in my videos is like these color stories and the shades in there and the way that they come on the lids and all of that, like these are good shades for all year long, you guys. And I mean, any palette is, right? You're going to wear whatever you want throughout the year, but like these, they had a little bit of pastel, they had some brighter colors for the summer or spring, they had the grungies for the fall, they had the frosties for the winter. I mean, so well done. So yeah, perfect holiday collection in my opinion. Question number 8, what was the best collab of 2020? I hate to be redundant, but one of the best collabs was the Heather Austin palette, again with Adept Cosmetics. Like, again, expertly curated color story. I think that there is not a single dud in this palette. I think that the colors all go so well together. And I mean, like I said, not only does Heather really know her eyeshadows and her makeup and her indie makeup, but she had really good friends helping her as well. And then Adept Cosmetics coming in with amazing quality. One of the best collabs. And I would say Adept probably agrees with that. I mean, this thing has sold out 3 different times or 4 already. So it did really well because it was very well done. The next one's not a creator collab, but I would say Scooby-Doo. I didn't pick it up. That was a release with Glamlight, and I loved it. Like, I've never lusted after 2 palettes so much since like the Mel Cosmetics Vida Muerte or the Mel Cosmetics Beetlejuice collection. I mean, that's how good this collab was. And they went all out in like every single video that I watched, which even now today, I'm like, why? Why didn't I buy it? I didn't buy it when it released because I didn't even know it was coming. Okay, we fixed that already. We look at all the new makeup releases. But then I didn't because when it was on sale was like around Black Friday. And then I was like, oh, like I've already spent so much. How many palettes do I need? I only have 1 set of eyes, blah, blah, blah. They're blues, they're greens. Like I won't wear them every day. And I don't know. Now I want to go check if they're still available, but it was such a cute collab. I think that Glamlight does really well with their collabs. I think it's like almost like ColourPop, but like with more thought and intent. I think that Glamlight's doing really well. The last experience I had with Glamlight was like the holiday 2020 release, which some of it looked kind of gimmicky, I'm just being honest, but then the cookie collection or something. And now it's like the brand the last couple years has really elevated and stepped up their game. You know, they had collaborations with Michaela, for instance. They had a Kellogg's one. Am I tripping? I think they had a Kellogg's one. For sure, the Scooby-Doo. There's a strawberry shortcake collection coming that's like making me water, just like the nostalgia alone on that. And I think like that's so smart because the marketing is on point. The color stories, the quality of the shadows from what I'm seeing, everything is done so well. They do some like influencer events, but kind of like scaled down and smaller. So I think like they're very intentional about what they do. So I think that helps them. But just in general, like they get you on the quality, they get you on the marketing, and then on the nostalgia, you know? So I think that that was a really good collab, the Scooby-Doo. And I don't know, I might go back and get it just because it looks so, so good. But yeah, those two. Okay, question number 9 and the last question. What are your predictions for releases next year? And I was just like, I don't know. Like, how would I know that? Like, I'm so not on trend ever. You guys, like, ever. You know, my clothes are like, I don't know, we grew up this way. Like, I would go buy my clothes at Ross, where it's like, you know, people say like, oh gosh, that's like 2-3 seasons ago. I don't know. I mean, it's a pair of pants, right? So that's just kind of how I've always been. And so I'm not really sure about predicting anything. But if I had to choose, okay, if I had to choose, and this is mostly based also on like my season of life right now and where I'm at, I am loving like the clean girl aesthetic, like the clean beauty, natural makeup aesthetic, but like a little more 90s. So what I mean by that is like, you know, you do like a really natural eye look. And I did a video like this. It's like the everyday office makeup look. So you do like a really nice, like natural makeup on your eye. And then like with black eyeliner, but the wing make it a little longer and the lashes make sure they're out there, you know, and a little more blush. So kind of like the natural / clean girl makeup aesthetic I feel like is coming. I'm not sure. I'm just saying, that's what I think. And then another thing that I've noticed is tools. I feel like with makeup releases or beauty releases for next year, I think that we're gonna see more tools that will come on the market. And I think the reason that I think that is, for instance, I was just on Instagram earlier today and I saw that NARS is like they have their Lunar Beauty release and it was so simple and it was so beautiful, you guys. It was like this canvas or faux leather brush case with different brushes. And then they did have a makeup product. It was like their translucent setting powder. But it was mostly focused on the tools. And I was like, oh, I really like that, you know? And then BK Beauty, even though BK Beauty is a brush brand, it's a beauty tools brand. They just extended their line. Lisa Eldridge, which is not, you know, a brand that focuses on tools. They focus more so on makeup. When they launched the eyeshadows, they launched it with 4 or 5 brushes. So I don't know why I have this sense that like a lot of the brands will focus on some innovative like tool releases or just, you know, repackaging them or putting them in different components to make them look nicer. I don't know. I don't know if I'm right. I'm just thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I also have one more prediction, and this is more from the consumer standpoint. I feel like everybody, you guys, everybody's talking about scaling back. And obviously, I think that's a smart thing. Like, I feel like in 2020, we were stuck in the house, bored. All we could talk to about our online friends was makeup and, you know, what are you getting? And, you know, releases would just sell out within minutes. We had nothing else to do. I mean, we were working at home, but other than that, we just, you know, we kind of went down that rabbit hole where I've gotten so many comments the last few months where it's like, no, I'm scaling back. No, I'm trying to be a more conscientious consumer, especially when it comes to things like makeup, you know, I'm sure the news of the economy and things that are happening, like all of that kind of plays into our psyche and how we're looking at things. But then also, I was actually, this is funny. I was showing my husband like a picture of a vanity that I thought was really nice. We were talking about how could we make the most of this room that I film in. And I showed him a picture of this vanity that I had just seen on my Instagram feed from somebody I follow. And he was like, what the, like, is she a YouTuber? Because you guys, her collection was like kind of like mine, but like 50% more than what I have. And it was just massive stuff everywhere. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I think she just likes makeup. And it's like, I think we did a lot of that to ourselves in 2020 when we were kind of stuck in the house, you know? And so I think everybody's thinking like scale back, scale back. Like, do I really need that? So I think that's another trend that we might see. And that kind of goes hand in hand with like brands will probably get a little more bold in their marketing and go all out in their marketing because they need that revenue stream to continue, right? They need the consumer to keep coming back. And so how do we do that? We have to create marketing campaigns and products that are going to grab the consumer and they can't eat, can't sleep, can't think about anything else but that product, you know? And so that's what I think I predict. I may be totally off, but I've never predicted anything in the beauty space ever, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Tell me what your thoughts are down below. I'm excited to hear because again, I learned so much from my subscribers, people that are commenting in the comment section. I don't know everything. And so sometimes like I'll say something or I'll ask a question in my video and you have like 5 or 6 or more people like responding like, no, Yadi, this is what it is. This is, everybody's nice about it, but I'm like, oh, like I literally didn't know, you know? So let me know what you think down below. I hope that you enjoyed the video. It's just one of those chatty, fun videos where we get to talk about makeup that we can't really talk to anybody else about. I know I can't. I live in a house full of boys. So I hope you enjoyed. If you're new, I hope you subscribe. And please, guys, go check out Beauty and the Frizz. She is lovely. She's one of my closest friends. And she loves makeup just as much as I do. So anyway, thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.